our new Sizzix Floral Wreath Craft Box, which is our craft box for June. So you may have seen the spring one, and you may have already seen a couple of videos sharing some inspiration with you for this craft box, and this is what this video is going to be about. So I'm going to show you how to make this really lovely scrapbook page, which could also really easily be made into a framed piece, and you can change it up with obviously your personalised photos. You could even change up the colour scheme. Obviously I've gone for those sort of purples and blues, but you could totally change it up to match your image if you wanted, say, more of a tropical vibe. The cardstock in this pack, the bold colours, really lend themselves to sort of changing it up with imagery with those colours. So I'm going to show you how to apply the glitter onto the sculpted flowers, onto these lovely roses as well, how I do that, and also show you how I sculpt the flowers and sort of change up the dye to work as not necessarily just the wreath, which it comes as, but I've sort of chopped and changed it as well. So I'm going to show you how I do that today. Okay, so starting off, I've just got the bluebell cardstock cut to the size that I want, and then I've got a piece of white cardstock on the front. You don't necessarily have to layer them the way I've done. I just find that when there's a lot of white space, I like to layer it on top of a colour just to create that contrast. And that bluebell cardstock does come in the set, so that could totally work, or you could pick out another colour that you've decided to choose to create those florals. So that's going to be my base, and then I'm going to use the agave cardstock, which obviously also comes in the set, and I'm going to cut out the main element, which is this lovely wreath shape. Okay, so I'm just going to take that out. So as you can see, that's the piece that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use that all as one set, but then I'm going to show you how I chop it up and sort of raise sections as well. So I'm going to cut that, like I said, from the agave cardstock, but I'm also going to use an adhesive sheet, which also comes in the set, in the Floral Wreath Craft Box, and then I'm going to attach that to the back so that I can stick this completely flat onto my white background. So this just peels straight off, like so. Not going to need that anymore. And then you want to stick it to the back of your card, like so. Okay, I'm just going to trim that down as well. Okay, so that's on the back of my card, and now I'm going to cut that out like that. So put that through my machine. Any machine will cut these Thinlit dies, even this super intricate one. Although maybe just pop it through a couple of times since you've got that adhesive sheet on the back. Just make sure that everything is cut out nice and clean. So that should just come away like so, and then just pop this all out. Okay. Just be careful when you're pulling it out. Don't want to rip any of these small stems, but particularly if you run it through twice, these should cut out, no problem. There we are. There we go. You might have to just get your die pick or even a pair of tweezers and just pop out all those little elements. You may find that some of the adhesive sheet gets kind of stuck behind, but don't worry, once you peel away this back layer, you're not going to see that. Okay. This bit's a little bit tedious to get all the pieces out. Like I say, that's this one. If I take that away, you can still see the adhesive sheet backing, but like I said, the die is actually cut, the paper, the cardstock is cut, so that's absolutely fine. A couple more pieces. to be honest, if you take your time with this, it's actually really therapeutic to sort of pick all the pieces out. So there we go. I've got that lovely wreath, and I'm actually going to stick that down. So want to be quite gentle with it, obviously, because it is delicate. But if you now peel away the back, if you've got nails, hopefully, there we go, and that should just come away like so. And just take your time, be really gentle, and sort of place it where you kind of want it. So I slowly start to arrange it. It's a good thing with this adhesive sheet, you can kind of sort of pick it up and move it slightly. It's not like glue, it's not going to leave too much residue behind, so you can kind of get away with adjusting it as you stick it down. Okay, so there we go. So we have that main base of that wreath, and now we're going to add those lovely florals and your scrapbook image. So mine is a lovely picture of me, my other half, and Mickey Mouse. So maybe you've got a lovely holiday photo that you want to reminisce, particularly as we can't really go anywhere right now. It'll be really nice to sort of make that a centerpiece of your scrapbook page. So take whatever image you want, ideally a square one, and then I've just backed it on some of the pearlescent opulent cardstock that comes in the craft box set as well. So you get 2 sheets of each of these ivory opulent cardstocks. So you could use even the glitter one. It's just quite nice to, again, offset with a border. So I've got that there, and I think I'm going to stick that down first. So I've got a little bit of foam tape, so I'm going to kind of raise that so it's slightly sort of off the background. You don't have to use very much foam tape. You could even just use the adhesive sheet or just glue if you wanted it flat. This is just to create a little bit of an extra dimension. So I'm going to have that about there, I think. Okay, there we go. And I haven't put much adhesive foam tape on the back, sorry, so that if I do want to stick things slightly behind, it means I've got the space to do that. Okay, so now we're going to really bring it to life with those florals. So I've made some sort of beforehand, so any kind of colours that you want. I've used the Bluebell, the Purple Dusk and the Opulent Ivory cardstock to make my flowers with, and you could make them flat or you could make them slightly sculpted. So say for like these two here, I have sort of slightly sculpted them and then added a centre dot. So you could sculpt them just by literally just squeezing them together, or if you have one of our paper sculpting sets, you could just kind of go in and sculpt it like that. Okay, so that's completely up to you. The roses, I've already got a couple there, but the roses are actually sort of ravelled together. So that's the die that you have the rose in, and you sort of ravel that together and create that 3D rose. So again, you could just ravel it just with your fingers, or use your tweezers to pinch it at the outer edge and twist. Or if you do have our paper sculpting kit, this tool is really handy, and it's particularly for quilling, and you literally just slot this in, there you go, and then just ravel that up and just twist it, and they're so super easy but really effective to make. Okay, so just once you've got that to that point, just let it unravel a touch, and then just take some glue. I've got our express glue, but any glue that you have, just pop a dab on that circle base, and then just press it onto that glue. And just give it a really firm press, because actually as you press down you're kind of splaying out the petals, and that makes it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so we've got those lovely roses there. Obviously all the other sections have come from different elements of the set, so you get quite a few little florals in here. I'm going to use mostly these ones and the rose, so these are the ones that I've used for all of those florals. So as you can see, there's that one, we've got that one there, and there's a part of that one there, and then there we are, there's a lovely floral, lovely rose. Okay, so that's kind of how they turn out. So I've got those ones ready and set. I'm now going to make those lovely glittery ones. So in your set, in the craft box, you do also get 2 of our Sizzix glitters that work alongside our cardstock. So you get the purple dusk glitter, and this one is mint julep. So they're both really lovely colours, work perfectly with our cardstock, and I'm going to use both on mine today. So to make the glittery flowers here, I actually utilise some more of our adhesive sheets. Now this stuff is perfect for adhering glitter onto cardstock, because it just gives a really super even thin layer, and you're not messing around with glue, not waiting for it to dry. It's just so super easy. Okay, so I'm going to take some of our adhesive sheet, cut it to the size of my cardstock, and I'm going to pop it on. Again, if I can get the layer off, there we go. Okay, and I'm actually going to stick it to the front of the card, so the textured side of the card, I'm going to stick it to the front because that's where I want my glitter to go. So, like with the agave sheet, we stuck it to the back. This time I want it on the front. So I'm going to cut out several of those flowers from this. So sort of having your adhesive sheet front facing upwards, and place your dies on there. And then just cut that through. Again, this should cut perfectly first time, but since you've got that second layer on, better safe than sorry, pop it through a second time. And then we have those florals. So as you pop them out, they actually look white because of that adhesive sheet, but they won't do for long. So as you see, that's purple on the back, and then when I pop them out, just got my tweezers there. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to add the glitter, which is my favourite part. So literally all you have to do is peel off, again, the layer on the top, and then put your glitter on. Now if you wanted them flat, go ahead and peel off and put the glitter on, or if you wanted them sculpted, sometimes it's better to give them a quick sculpt before you peel it off. So you could just, again, take it in your hand and do it like that, or with your sculpting kit, just do it like that. I have tested it both ways. You can sculpt the flowers once the glitter's already on there. It does work because that adhesive sheet holds that glitter on, but it's just a lot cleaner, I find, to just sculpt them beforehand. As you peel it off, they will lose their shape a touch anyway. Okay, I'll just do a couple. So like I say, I've already peeled that one off, but I could just go in and sort of pinch that like that. Okay. And then we've got this lovely glitter. Now, I feel like you're either a lover or a hater of glitter. You either love the sparkle or you hate the mess. But hopefully you guys love it. Let me know if you love or hate glitter. There we are, just sprinkle that on. And then with your tweezers, just get off the excess. And then you can see how evenly that glitter adheres. No mess, no fuss, just really simple with those adhesive sheets. Okay, and I have used our funnel tray as well underneath just to catch my excess glitter, just so I'm not wasting any. Just give that a tap. I do tend to make a lot of mess when I use glitter though, so this does help a little bit, but okay, so I've almost got all my elements finished. The last little bit is to add those lovely glitter elements to the roses. Now, I am actually going to use glue for this, and I'll show you with the mint julep glitter. So literally all you have to do is take your glue and just run it really gently along the edges of that rose, just sort of the edges of each petal, like so. Okay. Again, place it in your tray and then take that glitter and pop that across. So since it is glue, just be a touch more careful when you're picking it up, but pick it up with your tweezers, tap off that excess, and then you should have a glittered rose, like so. Okay. Okay, so we can now start attaching those florals and finally sort of working with the extra piece of the stem of the wreath to create some elevated sections. So I'm literally going to cut this up. This doesn't have any adhesive sheet on the back. I'll just cut it out just normally, and I'm just going to cut sections off that I think will sort of lend themselves to being raised areas. I'm actually going to do, I think, this bit here as well. Okay, I'm only going to do two, so I've just got that section and I've got this corner section. So I'm going to raise those slightly with my fingers so it's sort of off of the background. And then I'm also going to just add some touches onto these sort of berry elements with that glitter as well. So again, with that glue, I'm just going to, hopefully you can see, just really gently put just a blob on each berry. Like that, nothing too over the top, nothing too much, just a little tiny blob. And then I'm going to take that mint julep glitter again, dot that on. So there you go. So that's where your glue comes in handy if you want more precise glitter application, but if you're just doing a whole die cut, the adhesive sheets are great. So there you go, just a little touch like that. Okay, so once you've got as many different stem sections or wreath sections as you want, these are the things that you want to put down first. So just with a bit of glue, just sort of line that up, but still make it raised. So that's the kind of effect that you want there. So hopefully you can see that's just slightly raised and creates a little bit more dimension. Okay. And then you can go and add the flowers wherever you want. So I'll start by popping my roses on. I'm not going to do the whole thing because otherwise that would be, I think, a little bit boring for you guys. and it's totally personal preference, I find, like what you put where, so you can just kind of place what you want. I'm even actually putting things onto my image, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to do that. If you've got some of the flat ones, ideally if you've put adhesive sheets on the back, that means that they can go flat. So I'm actually going to put that one underneath there like that. Okay, and then I think I'll just pop a couple of these here. So there we go. And you could really do as few or as many as you like. I'll put one more on just down here. There we go. And as you can see, I've started to add centre elements, so I've got little white dots in the Opulent cardstock. I'll just add one extra one into the centre there. The dots are obviously part of each of the floral die sets, and I find that, again, if you put adhesive sheets on the back, because they are going to be flat, it just helps you. There you are. So if you kept going with all those lovely floral elements, you'd obviously end up with something like that. So again, you could totally change up the colours, match them to what your image is on your scrapbook page. Obviously I pulled out those lovely blues and purples, but because of those lovely bold colours, like I said, you could really have some fun and make something really tropical if you wanted, with this die set and those colours. It's completely personalisable, and I think that's the beauty of something like a scrapbook page. You can really make it your own. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this today. If you did and you still want to check out that floral wreath craft box, it's still on the website, I believe, at .co.uk and .com, so go and check it out before it is sold out, and keep your eyes peeled for more inspiration from myself and all of the other designers at Sizzix. So stay safe guys, keep crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks!